Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name's Cassandra, and today I'm showing you guys 3 perfect fall budget-friendly family meals. We are a large family of 6. These are great for leftovers. They're family favorites, things that you're never gonna have to argue with your kids to eat, mostly because they're filled with cheese and pasta, but who doesn't love those things? And we're also gonna show you guys a super easy, really yummy crock pot meal. We're gonna make our meat in a crock pot and our side in a separate crock pot. So you're gonna have some different recipes here, some different ideas, yummy things. Perfect for the fall time. They're just hearty, really simple ingredients. You guys know how I like to cook here. If you've been here a while, that is my favorite way. So let's go ahead and start by showing you guys how to make this tater tot casserole that every kid is going to be asking you to make every day of your life. So let's hop in. Start with 2 cans of cream of. I'm using cream of mushroom, but you can use cream of chicken, cream of celery. You can mix and match. It really doesn't matter. So this is a great thing because you can just grab whatever you have up on the shelf. We're going to take those 2 cans and throw it in our 9 by 13 inch pan. Like I said, you can always do a smaller pan or a larger pan if you need more or less. We are also going to take some vegetables here. I'm using frozen. You don't have to. You can use canned vegetables. We're using we're using frozen corn and peas. There we go. We're going to add 1 pound of cooked pasta here. We're going to give that a good mix, and your warm pasta is going to melt that cream of mushroom soup and make it a lot easier to kind of whip together. But I like this recipe because you can mix and match. You can put in different vegetables and it'll feel like a different meal. We're going to take about 1 pound of ground hamburger. This hamburger is seasoned with very basic things: salt, pepper, little garlic, little onion, and really delicious. Simple is sometimes the best food. We're gonna mix that together again. Over the years, I used to mix this in a big bowl, but what's the point in dirtying up a big bowl when you can just mix it right into the pan? So once that is all mixed together, we're gonna do a little bit of cheese, and by a little bit of cheese, I mean this whole bag of cheese is gonna go on this meal. I know it sounds like a lot, but remember, this is a big casserole, and casseroles are always better with more cheese. Once the cheese is on, you're gonna take your cooked tater tots. I used about 3 pounds of tater tots here just for reference. It covers the pan just enough, and the tater tots are the kids' favorite part. So if you wanted to, you could even just mix in the tater tots if you were worried about your kids like just picking out the potato. But I like to put them on top because it gives a crust to it. It gets them a little bit crispy, and it's a little bit different of a texture, and it just makes the casserole that much better. Once you get your 3 pounds of tater tots on this bad boy, and if you didn't have tater tots, you guys, you could use French fries, you could use sweet potato fries, whatever you have. Sweet potato fries would probably be delicious on this. We're gonna pop that in the oven at 425 just until the cheese melts and everything gets kind of melded together and warm and ooey gooey. We're gonna pull that out of the oven. Everything's golden, everything's delicious. This makes an awesome freezer meal, and the leftovers the next day taste even better. Here is our big lasagna pan style casserole, and that was day 1. Heading into day 2, we're busting out our crock pots and we're going to get going. We're gonna grab 2 more cans of whatever your cream of choice is. Today I'm using a can of cream of mushroom and a can of cream of chicken because that's what the recipe called for. I'll leave this recipe linked down below. You guys know I found it on Pinterest. But we're gonna get those cans of cream ofs in the bottom of our first crock pot here. We're adding in 1/2 cup of some sort of stock. I'm using chicken stock. You could use beef stock. Throwing in a little bit of pepper here, and then we're gonna grab your pork product. This is a pork steak. The recipe calls for pork chops, but just use whatever you have on hand. I happen to have more pork steaks than pork chops, so that's why I opted to use that. The recipe also called for some mushrooms and some onions. I was feeling really lazy. You can see my canning jars peeking out there. We've had so many days of canning. We're right at the end of canning season, and my motivation was pretty low this day, so I just did the onion or the mushrooms and then put in onion powder instead. We're gonna grab a second crock pot. We're gonna grab 3 russet potatoes, and this does make enough leftovers. Remember, we're a family of 6. I do have some smaller children though that don't eat a whole lot, that include a 9-month-old baby, so you might have to take that with a grain of salt. But we're gonna cut up all of those potatoes, put them in our crock pot with some salt, some pepper. We're gonna throw in about half a cup of heavy cream and about a cup of milk. We're gonna turn both of our crock pots on low for 8 hours. We're gonna let this go all day, and then about 20 minutes before serving our potatoes, we're gonna throw in a couple handfuls of your cheese of choice. You could do cheddar, Colby Jack, whatever you have in your fridge is totally fine. Just add a little bit of cheese to our potatoes. Here is our whole dinner here, our pork gravy, our potatoes. We served it with corn and sauerkraut. Heading into night 3, we're doing a spaghetti pie and some cheesy garlic bread. If you have been around here, you've heard me talk about spaghetti pie in my meal plans all the time. So we're gonna start with some French bread. I got this from Walmart on the clearance rack. A little bit of butter, some garlic salt, and some Parmesan cheese. That is our favorite combination, but we're just gonna go ahead and set this aside, and we won't put that in the oven until our spaghetti pie has about 5 minutes left to cook in the oven. Now, we're going to start with 1 cup of melted butter and 3 eggs. We're gonna put that in the bottom of whatever pan you're using here. Lasagna pan will work fine. Casserole dish, whatever you have. We're gonna get our 3 eggs in there with our butter, and then we're gonna add a 1/4 cup of grated Parmesan cheese. We're gonna mix that together, and it creates this paste, or like this glue, that eventually we're gonna throw 1 cup of cooked spaghetti noodles in, and this is kind of like the crust to our spaghetti pie. It's so delicious, and it just takes your spaghetti up another notch. It makes it a little bit different, and this is a family favorite. It always has been. We're gonna take our cup of pasta noodles here, toss that in with that egg, cheese, butter mixture. I always think that I can use a spatula to mix this up, but guys, just give your hands a good wash and start tossing. It works so much better, and you coat the pasta much more evenly if you just get your hands in there and throw it together. Once your pasta is all mixed together, you're gonna take 16 ounces of sour cream, but I just kind of spread the sour cream around on top until it covers the top of our pasta evenly, and we have a nice good layer there. When I first made this recipe, I thought that sounded so weird, but you guys, it adds this really nice creaminess and richness without being overpowering. It's very delicious. Then we're going to take 1 pound of your cooked meat of choice. You can use Italian sausage. I'm using ground beef here because that's what I have. You could do a spicy sausage. And in with your spaghetti sauce mixture here is going to be your spaghetti sauce. So your spaghetti sauce and your meat, we're going to pour that over the sour cream. Then we're going to top that with this entire bag of cheese. I know it sounds like a lot, and it kind of is. You could do thin cheese, you could do sliced mozzarella and put that on top. Whatever you want to do is fine. But we're going to throw this in the oven to bake 425 for about 30 to 35 minutes until it comes out bubbling and ooey and gooey and delicious. And you'll know it's done because once you cut into this, it's going to pull out kind of like a piece of lasagna, a baked, stacked spaghetti. It's delicious. And then of course, here's our garlic bread. Baked that for about 5 minutes in the oven. And then for dinner, we had our spaghetti pie here, our baked delicious spaghetti, and a piece of our delicious cheesy garlic bread. You could serve this with side salad or some broccoli. Delicious. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know down below if you're going to try any of these meals, and I will catch you guys in the next one. See ya!